What's up, everyone? Mark Loveliner, TigerFitness.com, alongside
Sean Torbati, High Performance Nutrition.
We got a list of stuff to go down here, and I really want to go over the main reason why people cry over training. Now, we released our Deadlift Daily program, and everybody in the book is like, oh, well, that won't work for naturals. Oh, well, that won't work for this. Oh, well, when I do this, I don't recover. And so we got to talking about, like, overtraining and why people get into crying over training when we were talking about other sports, right? We're talking about Mayweather. We're talking about his, 8 hours of training a day?
Depending on the day, but I mean certainly way more than 2-3 hours, yeah.
Where you sit down between sets. Mayweather ain't sitting down between sets and doing, ATP extensive anaerobic work. He's doing really extensive aerobic, anaerobic, max capacity, athletic events. And yet you don't hear anybody crying over training about Mayweather.
Yeah.
I think, and here's the thing, I think people cry over training just because they want an excuse as to why they're too lazy as to where they're not making gains. And people talk about, oh, well, on steroids you do this, on steroids you do that. At the end of the day, steroids are not going to affect your central nervous system. They're not going to improve your central nervous system. They're going to improve your muscle repair, they're going to improve your muscle protein synthesis, but they're not going to make your nervous system stronger, and that's what overtraining is. Overtraining is a long-term, chronic nervous system issue that would take years and years and years to develop. That's why you see when a boxer goes into camp, goes up to Big Bear, California for 6 to 8 weeks to train for a boxing match, that they don't die, or they don't get overtrained, because it's a long-term, I'm talking years of chronic abuse of the nervous system. And so all I hear is overtraining this, overtraining, oh, you could do that because you're on drugs, oh this, oh that. I'm not quite following. Now Sean, you have your opinions on this because you've wrestled.
You know what, I think that the point here is that our bodies adapt to whatever we do consistently, but in terms of overtraining and what it's thought to be in the bodybuilding world, people just don't want to endure the pain of training really hard day in and day out. And it hurts. I mean, your muscles are sore.
I'm always
You don't feel like training them again.
No.
You have leg day roll around again, but your quads still hurt from last time that you train legs.
It's from the site injections, bro.
Yeah, and so that I don't know about that, but the point is that sometimes we want to call it overtraining, but really it's just a lack of desire to experience pain. Whereas you see guys in other sports training 6 hours, 8 hours a day, and according to what we're calling overtraining, these guys should be dead.
Have you ever seen Jerry Rice's old training footage? Running up
Walter
the hills
Payton.
in San Francisco, catching, literally, he'd go out and before practice for 2 hours just catch balls, do push-ups, do sprints. Before practice, which was another 2 to 3 hours. He trained for 6, 7, 8 hours a day and then go run the goddamn hills of San Francisco, California. Have you ever been up the hills of I can't even run up one hill without dying.
Yeah.
Okay, bodybuilders, with all due respect, because I'm a bodybuilder and Sean, you're a bodybuilder.
Sure.
Okay, we are the biggest group of fucking pussies in the history of the world because we cry over training at everything. And we always cry, and I'm sorry, I'm going to call out the natural community because Sean will too. You can't always use natural as an adjective as to why you're not putting in work. It's like, oh, well, I can only recover this much because I'm natty.
Here's my limitation, I'm natural.
There's no limitation. You got to realize that at the end of the day, the guy who ran the 4-minute mile, he was natural, I believe. He weighed like $120, yet he transcended all mental boundaries. You're going to see, if you haven't even aired them, you're going to see videos about this, and that's about the mental fortitude that it takes to achieve greatness, and that's the main barrier. And what people get at when they cry over training is there a barrier. Now, I'm not saying there is a point of diminishing returns, but the great athletes I've trained with, they go beyond that point of pain. That's when, I believe Arnold said, that's when after, once it starts to hurt, the reps after that, that's when the growth begins.
Yeah, that's when you become a champion in that pain period.
And I think Mike Rashid, our good friend, co-creator of Mental Jules Ambrosia, Mike Rashid said it best when he said that training hard and training beyond your boundaries is about more than the physical pursuit. It's more about the mental pursuit than anything. And I believe you're the one who paraphrased, what's his face, the gentleman who passed away, train accident?
Oh, Greg Plitt.
Greg Plitt. He said that we overcome our obstacles in here so we don't have to do it out there, something like that.
Yeah, we train as hard as we can in the gym so that it's easy out there in the real world, so that when we're in our day-to-day lives, we have the capacity to handle whatever comes at us.
And also, don't forget that when you watch someone like me train for 2 hours, or Kai Green train for 3 hours, or Doug Miller train for an hour and a half and do 80 reps of deadlifts with 315, that we've been also building up our tolerance. You know, at the end of the day, we didn't just start training. We're not suggesting that someone who's been training for a year go and try to emulate what we've been doing, because I've been training 20 years. Doug's even older than me. He's been training 20 years.
Doug's like 58.
Doug's retired. So at the end of the day, I think that we also need to realize that when you look at someone like a Kai Green or a Dorian, that they've literally built up to that level over years and years.
The pain tolerance is built over time, and it's not something you can fake. You have to earn it. Yeah.
You don't just, look, I'll tell you this much, like, I'm not genetically built to run distance. Like right now, if I tried to run a marathon, I'd go about 1.5 miles and I'd die. However, if you gave me a year, I could finish a marathon. You don't just fucking go and just say, okay, I'm gonna be trained like Dorian Yates. No, you work up to that level. So before you cry over training and before you cry, oh, drugs this, drugs that, just realize that maybe you're just not at their level. And maybe you need to work up to that level, or maybe you are at that level, or you have the capacity or capability to be at that level, but you're just not at that level up here.
Yeah, and that's, you know what, people will say, oh, you can get great results by training for 45 minutes or 30 minutes, or you can, for training in this certain style that doesn't hurt or requires less of you. Maybe you can, but that's not what we're arguing.
No, we're just arguing that your way might not be the best way.
Yeah, or that, you know, it's not necessarily overtraining what you perceive to be overtraining. It could just be that you can't achieve that threshold yet, and you haven't yet accumulated the experience to be able to unlock that.
Or perhaps you're just a big fat pussy. That could be it. Mark Lilburn alongside my man Sean Torbody, rocking it out here. Day before my pro show, I'm covered up. Actually, no, it's just a little chilly out. And that's not a game.